The Big Beautiful Bill Explained. This has come into effect July 4th. So wake up, America, if you haven't paid attention and you are an employee, an entrepreneur. I'll put your little sole proprietor world in there, even though I don't like them. Or you're just a wealth builder as an employer, some version of all of that. The Big Beautiful Bill comes into effect. It is, in fact. There's a huge amplification. So stay on my channel. I'm going to tell you to subscribe and hit that notification button because the beginning of 2026, it really shifts. So we're just going to go through a lot of the effects that are going to go into play in 2025. This is vital. And here's the first thing I want you to do. I want you to call your current CPA, tax strategist. And if that's you, you should fire yourself and hire us. My teams are amazing. And they know this. This came out on July 4th. We were announcing and on a call recorded to my clients by July 8th is how fast we're going to move and consume with you. Most of your CPAs probably say, oh, it doesn't apply to you. Because God forbid they actually have to go read the whole code. And I'm just making a generalization. My son's becoming a CPA, so I actually like them a lot. They're very, very key and vital to all of our lives. But if you just enjoy the invisible pain of overpaying taxes, keep doing it. If you'd like to actually get strategic, that means you need knowledge. You need to lean in and learn. Here's what we're going to talk about in this Big Beautiful Bill Explained. We're going to talk about the tax laws, specifically what you need to know, the provisions of that. We're going to talk about who benefits most, including entrepreneurs and wealth builders, and some distinctions in that, especially wealth builders. There's a lot going on in that category, and I'm going to put wealth building in the same category of legacy and how estate planning is going to work going forward. And then the biggest and my probably favorite, because I call it living corporate life, is how do you restructure your income to maximize the greatest gain for you and your family's life and the least amount of taxes legally paid. So let's begin. You better get a pen and paper or just like save this video and watch it over and over and over. And if your CPA will not adjust and shift, call us at any time, and we would love to walk you through how our teams are going to help you. I have a whole lineup. In fact, since the Big Beautiful Bill, I've added several tax strategists to our expert team because we have such a volume of people calling and saying, I am so sick of not being cared for. Now let's begin. So here are the provisions of the Big Beautiful Bill. The corporate tax rate was 35%, now 21%. The QBI deduction is up to 20% of pass-through business income. The bonus depreciation is 100% immediately write-off of all equipment, vehicles, and assets. And I can tell you my taxes, because right now I'm filming this on 9/11 of 2025, and the bonus depreciation has saved my life in taxes. My losses carried forward are fabulous. So that means I pay nothing because I have losses for years to come. Your estate tax exemption doubled. So it's up $12.92 million per person. So 12.9 per person. So if you have 2 kids, 3 kids, 4 kids, and you're worth millions and millions of dollars, they each can have nearly 13 million. The standard deduction nearly doubled. Simplified filings for many households. State and local tax called the SALT deduction capped at $10,000, affecting high tax states. So those of you who have solo 401ks that are actually your own company, your S Corp, your C Corp, from 50 and up, I mean, it has moved up between 70,000 to about 81,500. Your Roth contribution for those over 50 is 8,000, under 50 is 7,000. These are vehicles that actually part of your tax planning. So if you don't have any of these, which is amazing to me how many people don't have them, and if you have them from prior employers, why haven't you rolled it over and actually taken control of your money? You say, well, I don't know what to do with it. Hence why we exist, is to help you learn what to do with your money, how to do it, and educate you so you actually understand all the choices on the table, because there's a lot that you don't execute because that's not the stuff that's in the news and the media. That's the stuff that's out on the internet inside the IRS code. And if your CPA is a historian, meaning you hand your box over and they do your taxes April 15th, you're not even living corporate life and you're losing an enormous amount of strategy. So let's keep going. So what changed and why does it matter to you? The corporate tax rate has totally been slashed. Your pass-through deductions are enormous. The bonus depreciation, which is my favorite because I'm winning hugely in that one. I love that one. And as a business owner, you're going to get back a lot of the deductions that have been taken away in the past 4 years or so. So you want all those back. You want to execute them as deductions on your tax return. And instead of 81,000 pages, it's moving to about 83,000 pages of tax code for your companies to live in corporate life. If you're just an individual and you make money, you're going to get taxed at the highest rate. If your companies make the money, again, restructuring your income, it's a totally different strategy. So who benefits most? The entrepreneurs clearly get to benefit, right? I mean, who's in the administration? The truth is, whether it was this administration or last administration, they're all entrepreneurs. So entrepreneurs win big in this one. Real estate investors win huge. Bonus depreciation, massive piece of that. And the high W income earners that move some of their income in that restructuring from being W-2 to having a company. I don't know how many people come into our organization as clients as a W-2 because it never occurred to them to go to their employer and say, I want you to pay my company, my LLC, my S Corp, my C Corp, whatever our tax strategist says is the best for you given what you're doing and what state you're in. And you just are a W-2 because it's convenient. So do you want convenience and overpay taxes, or do you actually want strategy and get this in line? Again, before I talk about restructuring your income, which is my favorite part because I teach living corporate life, I want to give you 2 tickets to our Millionaire Intensive. We do it once a month. In its current format, we're only going to be doing it 4 more times. September 18th, October, November, and December. We're going to shift it up so we can elevate the conversation for those of you that are higher net worth that truly want to execute this big, beautiful bill. So grab one of those 4 ticket seats and enroll immediately. The other thing I'm going to give you is a copy of my Millionaire Maker book version 2. So you say, what's changed about it? What's changed is we put 40 testimonials of people becoming millionaires in the back because I wanted to expand the industry space. Most of you say, well, can you help me because I'm an architect? Can you help me because I'm a videographer? Can you help me because I'm in whatever you're in? We always say we're industry agnostic because this isn't about being in an industry. It's about the foundation of your entire enterprise and how do you benefit the most and how do you sequence it? So I want you to subscribe to my channel. If this is interesting to you, you need to be here every day and make sure you do not miss a video because you never know when I'm going to talk more about the big, beautiful bill. I'm going to do some interviews with some of our tax team between now and the end of the year. So stay here, click the notification button, and please send it to at least 10 friends, colleagues, people who you know need to know this. And those of you doing your own taxes, oh my gosh, stop doing your own taxes. You don't know enough. And by the way, our tax teams are, I'd say, equivalent to what it takes to be a surgeon. You don't do your own surgery, so why are you doing it on your own taxes? Meaning they go to school with a master's of accounting for 6 years, and then they have to work for at least 2 more years in some sort of an audit firm to do 200 hours of audit is the current standard. That may be shifting, but it takes a lot. My son's becoming one. So it's a journey to become a CPA. So if you think you can do your own taxes, then maybe you do your own surgery. I don't know. Kind of like to add a little humor in there. The other thing I want you to do, I want you to start binge watching my channel. For those of you who find this interesting, and we're going to be doing different posts on all sorts of channels, this is such a vital part of your success as, I'm going to say, living in the United States of America. Those of you that are out of the country that are listening to us, there's no reason or preclusion from you having a company here in the United States. There's a lot of structure that's going to have to help you and have around it. But I've owned companies and trusts around the world, came back home after COVID and know how those all work and how your money gets moved between the countries and how you can activate foreign exchange in your own model. So a lot of fun things to teach you. For those of you who want to be more advanced, lean in, learn, I want you to binge watch. For binge watching 25 hours on my channel, you got to click on the link and do it the way that we can actually track and know that you actually watch them. We're going to give you back $750 of credit towards a new tuition and whatever you want to learn about. Now, the last part of how do you restructure your income? It's like brushing my teeth. It's like so easy. It's like, oh, I'm going to drink some water. It's that easy to us. Most of you say, what? What are you talking about? You can't restructure your income. You can too. Just like I said earlier, you can go from W-2 to having them pay your company. And then the difference in that tax plan is enormous because you're going to make the money. You're going to do all the deductions, then you pay tax. And if you have our tax team, we're going to forecast forward the money you're going to make. I have a new executive coach just joined our community. She's making around $300,000. She knows if she's watching that I'm talking about her. Her goal this year, between now and 2026, is to grow $1 million. I said, that's easy. I started at about those numbers. 356 was my first year. 1.7 million was my second year. And I know the strategy and I know how to take you there. But you also need to stop some of this little W-2 stuff in between. So by restructuring having a high W-2 income to having a high company income, think about it. If you heard somebody say, I make $250,000 as a high W-2 wage, earner. And for those of you around the world, W-2 means they work for another company, they work for a corporation, versus saying my company makes $250,000. What sounds better? What gives you more leverage? What gives you more corporate credit? What gives you more lines of credit? So just consider it. Make sure you show up to our Millionaire Intensive. The first 2 hours is vital because you're going to learn in detail what we do. Also, when you grab the Millionaire Maker version 2, open it up and read it. Make sure you go through at least the sequencing, because that's really, in my mind, the defining chapter of the work. The gap analysis and the sequencing is where are you, what do you want, and the sequencing of what do you do first, second, third, and fourth, because it's about doing the right thing at the right time. And so many of you working your tail off and you're doing the right thing wrong time and you wonder why you're not moving. So if you have any questions about this, we have this amazing site called Ask Loral, AskLoral, ask a question, make a request. So go there, ask as many questions as you want, become a member and come live, and I will help you take the next steps. Look forward to talking to you, and we'll talk more tomorrow.